Getting in some big breaking news coming in. The Enforcement Directorate's raid at Ram Prakash Jewellers and also 4 other big names that are now emerging. Over the next few minutes, we'll take you through exclusive details of the investigation that's been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. Who are the people who have now come under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate? How many people are going to be now summoned by the Enforcement Directorate? All details only on Republic TV right now. Satender Jain and his family members that have come under the scanner. Remember, as a follow-up in the money laundering case, Enforcement Directorate carried out searches at 7 locations. Now, Republic has accessed pictures of the stunning recoveries that have been made. The visuals exclusively accessed by the channel shows that bundles of hard cash amounting to about 2.85 crore. But before I get into the details, let's listen in to what Shahzad Poonawalla has to say. Piyush is getting us that interview.
Jain has been remanded to custody by a court of law. Mr. Satender Jain has been indicted by the Delhi High Court in its finding in 2019. Mr. Satender Jain is guilty of corruption prima facie and therefore he has got no relief from any of the courts of law till date. Yet Mr. Kejriwal plays the victimhood card and indulges in ABCD. A for advertising, B for bhrashtachar, C for cover-up of corruption and D for deviation from the real issues. Did Mr. Kejriwal see these documents that were put out, the questions that were raised by Smriti Irani ji before giving a clean chit to Mr. Satender Jain? Or has he, after seeing these documents, after seeing the court indictment, given this clean chit? Is the court indictment also an act of vendetta politics? Is the court remanding Mr. Satender Jain also an act of vendetta politics? How long will this victimhood card be played? And we all remember that in the case of Jitendra Tomar also, the same Mr. Kejriwal came out in his defense, said he had seen the documents and then given a clean chit. But that proved to be completely false.
Caesar has been made. Do you think that it's high time that Satyendar Jain should resign?
Mr. Satender Jain should have resigned long back. He deserves the gold medal for Ghotala. He is not just the health minister, now he has become the Hawalat minister. But when Punjab, the health minister becomes Hawalat minister, Mr. Kejriwal takes his resignation. In Delhi, when health minister becomes Hawalat minister, Mr. Kejriwal is feeling hesitation. This hesitation shows that there is some majburi because of which Mr. Kejriwal is not able to take the istifa of Mr. Satender Jain.
Last question, what do you have to say on Aam Aadmi Party's allegation where they are saying that all these are fabricated charges, no such amount has been recovered, it has just been recovered from a gold shop, a jewelry shop?
You know, Aam Aadmi Party is an expert at playing victimhood. You and I have PAN card, ration card, they have permanent victimhood card. And today, the court of law has remanded Mr. Jain. Is the court also doing fabrication? Is the court also moving and operating on fabricated issues? Is the court doing vendetta politics? Is the finding of the Principal Commissioner Income Tax and the subsequent upholding of that finding by the Delhi High Court also fabrication? The attachment order by the ED of 4.81 crores has not been challenged by them or no relief has been brought by them from any court of law. Is that also fabrication? These kinds of diversionary and victimhood tactics are very old. I think people of Delhi and Punjab are understanding what the Aam Aadmi Party is all about.
So now the BJP is coming out and demanding the resignation of Satyendar Jain. We'll have to wait and watch how the Aam Aadmi Party is going to respond to this. What we are now given to understand is that any minute from now, Aam Aadmi Party is also going to do a press conference on this press conference which has just been done by BJP. With Vivek, I'm Piyush Mishra in Delhi for Republic TV.
Well, Shahzad Poonawalla speaking exclusively to Republic TV. Now, in a while, we'll put out full details of that investigation that's been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. Who are the people who are under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate? And what is it that the Enforcement Directorate really has in its kitty as far as this investigation really goes? About 2.85 crore rupees. That's the amount that has been seized, along with 133 gold coins and biscuits weighing about 1.8 kilogram are among the recoveries that have been made from the alleged aides and business partners of Delhi Minister Satender Jain. Now, let's take a look at some of the details that are coming in. Satender Jain linked. A trust has now come under the scanner. Enforcement Directorate is saying that Satinder Kumar Jain and Poonam Jain, Ankush Jain, Vaibhav Jain, J.S. Matharu and Yogesh Kumar Jain. These are the people who are under the scanner. In the days to come, summons are likely to be issued by the Enforcement Directorate to those whose premises have come under the scanner. Let's not forget, The Enforcement Directorate also indicating that some of these items that have been seized by the Enforcement Directorate, they were hidden at secret locations. When the search team had reached, it was only after much persuasiveness that the Enforcement Directorate was able to get across through these items. We're also being told that these are all accomplices of Satender Jain and Poonam Jain, and they directly or indirectly assisted Satyendar Jain or participated in the processes of the money laundering. So what's really happening right now is that some fresh evidence that the Enforcement Directorate has got through as far as Satyendar Jain's case is concerned. In the days to come, we are being told that once he's produced before the court, the Enforcement Directorate is going to produce before the court details of the investigation that's been carried out, and they say there is fresh evidence to suggest that Satyendar Jain was the man who was providing information to his family members and his accomplices, and they were the ones who were controlling these very companies on his behalf. We'll try and go across to my colleague Piyush, who's also been tracking this story very closely. In fact, these are the details that we are getting. Now, the trust that we were talking about, the trust was Lala Sher Singh Jeevan Vigyan Trust. Now, that's the name of the trust which has come under the scanner. They were the ones who had provided accommodation entries for the transfer of the land from the company beneficially owned by Satyendar Jain to family members of accomplices in order to alienate the property. That's the details that we are getting you right now. Joining us on this broadcast is my colleague Piyush. Piyush was the one who had tracked down the properties allegedly belonging to Satyendar Jain in the national capital. Piyush, take us through the details that we have accessed, the investigation that's been carried out so far by the Enforcement Directorate.
So, in a massive jolt today to Satyendar Jain, the ED today found out that there were huge amounts of cash ranging about 2.3 crore and 133 gold coins that were found from his residence. Now, this is in addition to the land properties which we tracked down which were there in Kerala area that allegedly belonged to Satyendar Jain. Now, following this, the Aam Aadmi Party definitely is saying that this is a victimhood, but for BJP, it has again provided them a fresh fodder by saying that Satyendar Jain and his associates are involved in corruption, and now this massive jolt which has been provided to Aam Aadmi Party has also given impetus to BJP leaders, saying that not only Satyendar Jain but also other top Aam Aadmi Party leaders are maybe also involved in this corruption.
Well, in fact, Piyush, as far as response from the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, are you picking up anything on those lines?
Well, the Aam Aadmi Party leaders have always been saying that, as far as Satyendar Jain issue is concerned, the raids yesterday which occurred, according to the Aam Aadmi Party, they said that this was a diversionary tactic by BJP to, divert the focus from expulsion of Nupur Sharma and Naveen Kumar Jindal. But when we had a word with BJP leaders, regarding this, so they said that they have nothing to do with this. ED is a professional agency. They have substantial inputs and evidence of the corruption in which Satyendar Jain is allegedly involved, and that's why they conducted a raid. So today, when ED showed that there was a huge evidence as far as Satyendar Jain possessing some illegal assets, it did provide BJP an impetus to say that Aam Aadmi Party top leader Satyendar Jain is involved in corruption.
Well, thank you very much, Piyush, for getting us the latest details. We'll be tracking this story very closely. Exclusive details of the investigation that's been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. Ambit of this investigation likely to widen in the days to come.